The front funnel of the SS United States has officially been removed after weeks and weeks of work of them ripping out the inside and creating that little mark so they can pull it up. Today they did it, and we have the drone footage for you, and just take a look at it. It is unbelievable. Before we get started, do make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because I'm working on potentially getting on the ship one last time before they completely sink her in the late year. We don't really know the exact timing yet. So before we get started, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. I'm going to start this video off with the drone video that I just edited. Take a look. This video is sponsored by Brian Cover at State Farm, proudly serving Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and New York. With a dedicated team of 15 professionals, Brian is here to keep you protected.
Contact Brian Cover for an auto quote today.
I know you have a lot of questions. First is, I'm not in Alabama. That was sent to us from the team that's down there doing all of the work. I thank them for these great videos because we're documenting these things, which is why I said before, I hope to be down there when they sink it and or to do a video before they sink it. I'm still waiting on permission for all of that, but I know you're probably saying, wait a minute, why they're removing the funnels? What's going on? Let me catch you up to speed. If you don't know, they are going to be sinking this in the Gulf. It's going to become a reef, and it's going to become a great place to dive. Their mindset being that it's going to be the largest ship that you're able to dive, at least closest to the United States. There's other ships out there, but we've never done this for an ocean liner where we actually actively sank it and then allowed people to dive on it. So this is a major deal, and it's definitely going to help out, Florida and all of them when they not only sink this thing, but also when they build a museum. You see, from the get-go, we knew they were saving the funnels. Our reporting all the way back showcased a whole list of things that are being saved, including like the crow's nest and things like that. We also know they removed all the porthole. There's a lot of things that are being saved for this museum. And it was a couple months ago that we got our first mock-up showcasing what the museum could be. But today, this morning, the day that they started lifting, it was like 9:30 or 10 o'clock this morning, we got a press release showcasing what it's going to look like. One of the many things. They hired an amazing architect firm to come on out and build what could be the future museum. And this is a group that's designed a lot. Hopefully I'm saying this right here. It's called the Think Design Group, THINC. Supposedly, from what I'm reading online, they are like the world's industry white glove standard when it comes to building museums and memorials. I say that because they designed, it says here, the 9/11 museum. It says here that they're known for projects at the National September 11th Memorial Museum, the Empire State Building Observatory, and then Robert Ballard's Challenge of the Deep. So this is a very big deal. And we got an image. Only one image, but in it, there's a lot to look at here. You can see out in the distance 2 smokestacks or 2 funnels, the forward and the aft. You can see what looks to be, in my point of view, the crow's nest. We actually climbed that the last time we were on the ship, which is awesome. You could see winding paths, and then underneath of it looks like the museum. We don't know what's going to be inside of it, but what we can see, it looks like there's multiple layers, like some kind of hill that they're building up, and then they're putting the smokestacks on top, maybe to make it look like the ship is coming or going into the water, or maybe if you're on the water looking this way, looks maybe is a ship. But there really isn't too many details that we're learning about this, except for the fact of what we're seeing there. And I know there's a lot of different things that are being saved. There's a lot of things that are being donated, from the bars that we've seen on board to there actually was another restaurant somewhere in America that saved a lot of the things on the ship. And so they're going to be bringing that stuff to life right there. Now, to the extent, how big is it going to be? I don't know. It's going to take a lot of money to do these things, especially because in $1 million just to do something is not really a lot when it comes to a museum. They've already procured a lot of stuff for it. It's just a matter of finding the funding to put it all together, to build it up, to repaint things, get things restored. And the first step to doing that is, of course, taking the smokestacks or the funnels off the ships. That being said, they did give us a press release talking about some of the things that we could expect. And the reason why I read it to you is because they actually want your input. It says, as plans for our ambitious museum experience advance full steam ahead, I like the pun there, we'll be seeking your input and advice. What stories should we tell? What features of the SS United States should we highlight? How does America's flagship continue to resonate today, just as the ship's original components and materials came from every state in the nation? Our future museum will also inspire and unite. They want your feedback here, because I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of stories you can tell. There's a lot of famous people on board, but there's also just a lot of cool history about that ship. That's why, and I'll link down in this video, that's why I wanted to go on board and explore and document. Because it is history. You know, you could say history for when she was sailing, and history even in Philadelphia. There is a lot that happened, even when she went to Ukraine. There's a lot that happened here. And it definitely is a story that needs to be told, because future generations down the line are going to want to know, hey, why did they sink this ship? Why is this ship important? So this is where they want you to jump on their website and say, hey, I want to see X, Y, and Z. Obviously, we're going to see the smokestacks. I wonder if we could look up and see through them, which is crazy to me because we were inside the smokestacks, like walking around the engine room, which is like, once again, it's hard to describe what it's like to be on her just because she's such a beautiful ship and the lines and everything like that. There's so many cool parts of it. Now, a part of me, I do kind of wish a little bit that they saved the nose. Just a little bit, cut a slice off and put it at the front of the museum, kind of would have been cool. But we do know that there are certain things that are being saved, like the cones for the propellers, one of the propellers, the smokestacks, the crow's nest, and then a few things that were underneath. There's a lot of equipment from, well, I'll leave it up to your imagination because I've seen a lot of stuff. And I will say, and this is one thing that people don't realize, there are certain parts of the ship that were taken off and are going to be used in other museums or other things across the United States, which is kind of nice. I do really like that. Now, someone asked me what's happening to the portholes. I emailed the county to see what they're doing about that. I'm sure that there's a lot of people on this project that's probably getting a porthole or something like that, but wouldn't it be cool to have a porthole or something over here? I think that'd be kind of neat. That being said, I'm working with them to see what we could do to get back on board. Because I'm going to go there and document it. They could use the footage for the museum or something like that, just like how they asked for the other footage that we have seen. But there's a lot that's happening here. And they want your input about what could happen to the ship down the line. I know there's a lot of people still upset about losing the ship. And I want to address this one more time. I know I've addressed it in a few other videos. Unfortunately, there really wasn't much that could be done. For speaking to the conservatory so many times, they tried every avenue. West Coast, East Coast, Brooklyn. They tried everything. And there are a lot of people with really great intentions to try to save the ship. But if you don't have funding and concrete areas and all these things put together, in kind of was like a fishing expedition, you know what you're going to get. And at least this way, the ship is not being scrapped. Because I think that would be the worst outcome here, is that it became soda cans and razors. I think that's what the expression they used. At least this way, you can go ahead and see the museum. If you're a diver, you can go experience her. There's going to be a countless amount of history videos and things about her. And I feel like if they would have just scrapped her, she wouldn't have been relevant ever again. Now, she can live another 100 years under the sea, going to visit, see how she's helping out, whether it be wildlife and marine life, creating reefs, giving really cool areas for divers to go into. And so that is still the better alternative than, of course, the other one, which was just scrap her. And that's it. And like I said before, while I'm upset to see her go, it's nice to see she's getting a purpose. Now, in the meanwhile, they've been doing a lot of work on here, removing wires and cables so that divers don't get stuck on them, removing anything that could cause any issues while they're going to sink her to the marine life. The cleaning all the tanks. If you remember that green paint that was on top, they scraped off all the paint, anything that was being chipped off, that was all taken off and removed. That way, when it goes down there, it's not going to hurt the environment and everything will be safe. And then the grand question is, how long will it be until people could dive on her? Because we saw the Cape May ferry be sunk, and for a while, you couldn't go there. Actually, I still don't think you could go there because of the way that it landed. And that's a whole nother thing. There's a whole nother engineering side of it, how they have to get her to go down on a certain way so you can actually look at her in a certain way. But that's where we're at this very moment. That is the latest. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'll be sure to keep you guys updated. Hopefully they'll let me down there to go film and, be there for when they sink her, and I'll be sure to bring you guys along. So do make sure you are subscribed, you turn on notifications, and you give this video a thumbs up. I'm Joey. As always, I'll see you on the beach.
Always a winner and always a prize. That's right, guys. Who's up? Who's next? Who's ready? We've got a winner every game. We've got a prize every single time. Always a winner and always a prize. That's right, guys. Who's up? Who's next? Who's ready to play? Who's going to be our next?